Sorry, I couldn't hear you say that again.
Center? And what's like playing center?
So I actually have not played center. Yeah, I've just been taking reps at guard this whole camp.
The other night, Matt Bockhorst was bragging on you. He said you were the one on the offensive line that's really impressed him. That you've taken a big step forward. What do you give that credit to? What did you work on the offseason to kind of take that next step?
Yeah, I mean, I would say a lot of it for me was kind of being able to play last year, starting last year. I think a lot of it was kind of almost reinventing myself in a way, my process, my preparation, stuff like that. Giving in a lot of extra work. Like we had a lot of workouts, obviously in the summer. Those are pretty tough and grueling. Finding time to kind of work on some extra things, whether that was football related or, at my house actually, we built a boxing gym in my garage, in my house, and I used to do that with my other roommates coming back home, just kind of fun stuff like that. But I think for me, it was really just kind of increasing my workload and stuff like that, which helped mentally, but also physically, kind of my body conditioning and stuff like that.
Now I have to ask, who would step into a boxing ring with you?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's yet to come. But it's just it's more of like a hobby thing for me. Some people they kind of, maybe play instruments, learn how to play the piano or speak different languages. For me, it's just kind of like a hobby kind of thing. It's something I enjoy doing. So.
Well, what is unique about facing a defensive line with so much size that, I guess, in terms of what you guys really feel like you need to emphasis going into this game?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest unique thing is that itself, kind of the size, the strength of these guys. I mean, obviously we have very, very good and capable defensive linemen, but going against someone, who's 340, 350 pounds, that definitely is something unique. I think something for us to really emphasize is really just kind of lining up and getting off the ball. I mean, for us, it's almost going to be it's like going to be an Oklahoma drill mentality for us because they're very good defensive line, very big. And the biggest thing for us is really just coming off that ball with some tenacity. So.
Do you feel like that's something that you guys have placed an emphasis on in camp leading up to game prep?
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I mean, that's something that if I'm being honest, we have to bring every day because, like I said, we play against some of the best guys in the country in practice every day. And I mean, maybe they might not be necessarily as big as what we're about to face, but I mean, it comes down to the basics and fundamentals, moving them off the ball. But I think we're ready and prepared for that, and I'm looking forward to kind of this game week and this game prep.
Given that Matt had to go to center, does it feel like this offensive line is still a little unsettled going in, or not?
No, I wouldn't say that at all. I wouldn't say that at all. We have a lot of guys that have been playing a bunch of different positions all over the place. We have guys who are very capable, and we have guys who are confident. Now, with that being said, we're not playing Georgia tonight. We're not playing them tomorrow night, but we're playing them September 4th on Saturday. And with all that being said, I mean, we'll be ready to go. And I wouldn't really say unsettle is necessarily a thing. We're really, really, really excited and really looking forward to it.
Well, how excited are you guys about playing in front of a full stadium after last year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally. I mean, I think I can speak for everyone. I'm very excited. For me, I mean, I started last year, but I never really played in front of a full stadium like that. My freshman year I did, but I'd maybe play like in the second half and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't really, I can't really even imagine it. And kicking off really college football with like a big time game, like the prime time game against a very formidable opponent. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited.
For those young guys, especially the freshmen that will be sophomores playing on the offensive line this year, how much of an eye opener will that be, especially the communication in a loud environment?
It'll be big. It'll be big. I mean, some of those things where you won't really know until you're there, until the heat of the moment. I mean, the best thing you can do is just really trust your preparation. Know that hey, we had good spring ball. We worked really hard this summer. Had good workouts. Had a phenomenal camp, and you just got to trust the process and in your preparation that you're going to be ready for this moment. And the same thing applies for myself as well, because maybe they haven't played as much, and I mean I've played some, but I've never played in like a big with 80,000 something people in there. So I really think you just got to kind of trust your preparation, trust the coaches, kind of the game plan, and yeah, just know that you're ready.
Well, there are a lot of people around the country who are going to tune in and say, well, Clemson lost Trevor. They don't have Travis anymore. They're not going to be the same offense. Are you confident you guys will be the same offense that people have seen the last 2 years?
I mean, with that being said, I wouldn't really say that we're going to be the same offense. I mean, we're going to be a different offense in the fact that, I mean, it's a new year. We have a bunch of new guys. I mean, I think the standard's still there and that won't change. but we have a lot of new pieces now. Trevor's gone, but we have DJ. Travis is gone, but we have, Pace, Shipley, Makuba, Linjay, all those guys. Up front on the offensive line, we lost like Jackson and Cade, but we're bringing back myself, Matt, Jordan, and we have other very capable guys. So, it's going to be the standard of our offense is going to be the same, but it's going to be different for this 2021 season for the guys that we have. And I'm really excited to kind of see these guys play because I've seen them during spring and I've seen them work really hard in the summer and obviously during camp. But it's going to be kind of exciting going against someone else in a true game time environment.
Well, then let me ask you, how have you seen DJ kind of expand his leadership role and things like that from the spring to now the summer?
Yeah, I would say he's definitely become more comfortable in his situation. He's definitely become more vocal, kind of talking with us about certain things. I'm really excited to see him go out there and lead. And he's just a good leader on the field and off the field. He's a great guy, good kid. Yeah, I'm excited for him.
Are you excited about the running game too? Have you seen these backs kind of try and fill that hole that Travis?
Yeah, no, I'm very excited to see that. Obviously for us up front on the offensive line, but I'm really excited to see these young backs kind of really run and go. They've had a great camp, and that's one thing now. The running back room, we have phenomenal depth. We have 3, 4 guys who could all play obviously here, but anywhere else in the country, if I'm being honest. So I'm really excited to kind of give them the ball and see what they can do. And obviously, being an offensive lineman, I just want to service them the best I can do.
You wait as long as you do to play the first game, and then you play that first game at night. How do you pace yourself when you wake up Saturday morning, knowing the magnitude of the game? And
Yeah.
You gotta wait.
Yeah, so the night games are always kind of tricky in that regard. But like I was kind of saying earlier, it's definitely something where me personally, I don't really get nervous, but it's definitely something you get anxious about. And with that being said, like I was saying earlier, you just got to kind of trust that process. Know that you had a good spring, you had a good summer, you had a great camp, and you just know that you're ready for the moment. And like right now, I'm at peace with whatever's going to happen because I know I had a good off season. I know this offensive line. I'm playing next to guys who I trust and I'm ready to go out with. And those are kind of some of the things I think kind of going into it. When I'm sitting in my hotel room, I really don't even try to think about the game too much. In the morning, in the afternoon, I like just sitting down, watching other games that are on TV. But once we kind of start, once I put that suit and tie on and we're going through walkthroughs, we're hopping on the bus, that's when I really start locking in and thinking about the game.
Going back to Pete's question about the running backs, just knowing how good Georgia is against the run, how crucial is it that you guys get some rhythm there early?
It's very crucial. That's going to come with us up front, really getting off the ball. It's going to come with the running backs, hitting the holes that they see. And at the end of the day, guys are just gonna have to make plays. It's a heavyweight match. They have really good players. They're gonna make some plays on defense. I'm sure of it. But at the same time, I have belief that we're gonna make some really big plays on offense. And it really just comes down to that.
In your opinion, Will, what is the most obvious or striking way this offensive line is better now than it was last year?
I would say for us up front right now, communication. I'd say communication is really well. We had obviously some guys who are now stepping up to the plate, but they've been around the system for good enough time. I think up front we have really good leadership and Matt, Jordan, and even myself. And this is something that we've been talking about, even though maybe in the summer we haven't been necessarily practicing, but we've been talking a lot of football. We've been watching film. And I think we really trust in each other a lot. And I think this is just really truly like one big unit on the field, obviously, even off the field, like we're all really good friends and stuff like that. And I think that's really good cohesion and chemistry.
Do you think that the communication leads to the physical? Like it allows you to be?
Yeah, 100%. I think you got to kind of break it down. First, you have to know what you got to do. Second, you have to know how do you do that. And thirdly, you have to know why. So I think communication helps you break down, okay, this is what I have to do. This is the technique and how I have to do it. And this is why I have to do it. This is what the play's set up. This is the formation. This is where the running back's lined up. This is where the ball's going. And all those things, it really allows you to play free. You're not really thinking about what you should and shouldn't do. You know what to do. It's almost like it's natural. It's like second nature. And with that good communication going, you're able to just play football and play some ball.
I think we've heard from some of the other linemen that you guys did get together a lot in the offseason. I mean, how often would you guys get together? How much film were you watching? What film were you watching?
Yeah, I mean, we'd get together multiple times a week, and I think it was really good for someone like myself, almost rejuvenating, because we had obviously, we have a fairly young offensive line. And we have a lot of guys, so kind of trying to teach them, bring themselves along, help maybe someone like me. I know Matt, like Jordan, and all those guys as well, because I mean, it's just kind of getting back to the fundamentals. And I think kind of just teaching the fundamentals, base things that I've done hundreds, thousands of times, but kind of keep on going over those things, trying to explain to the younger guys, I think was really, really important. But I mean, after every single workout, we'd get together, whether that's, center snapping, guards, maybe working technique, tackles and stuff like that, kind of getting used to playing different positions, kind of getting in and out of your stance, stuff like that. I think that was really crucial for us.
Talk about the process of Walker to your right. I mean, how much of a process is it to kind of get in sync with him, and what have you seen with him?
Yeah, I mean, Walker, he's made, tremendous steps. I mean, since the spring, even since the start of camp, like coming in the spring, still very raw. Start of the spring, but he's developed into a really good football player. And the really good thing about him is, and I think the most important, he has the want to. Walker's the type of guy who's always going to give great effort. He's always going to go really hard, and he wants to be great. And I think anyone who has that mentality can go distance, and they're more capable to learn because they want to learn, because they want to be as good as they can be. And I mean, he understands the situation he's in, understands kind of the shoulders we're standing on. We're standing on the shoulders of legends. And he wants to kind of carry on that winning tradition that, Clemson's built, before I got here and before he's got here. And he's very capable of learning. And like I said, he's made tremendous steps. And I'm really proud of him. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do Saturday, because I know he can do really well, and Walker's going to be as good as he wants to be. He's very talented naturally, and he has a great mentality. So I'm excited to see for him.
Look back to that play against Notre Dame where he kind of leveled a guy.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Walker can be as good as he wants to be. He's a freak athletically, and I think now that he's kind of stepped into the starting role, and kind of been able to develop. Because the biggest thing for Walker is he's always been a freak physically, which has kind of been like mentally, technique wise, and like I said, he's developed very well, and he's going to be a phenomenal tackle, and he's going to have a phenomenal year. And I think he's ready to kind of harness all those kind of physical attributes he has into being a technique-sound football player.
Do you feel like you have the more accurate gauge of where you guys are just as a team when you start against that opponent of the caliber of Georgia?
Yeah, I think so a little bit. This is a real deal football team. These are two very capable teams. Like I was saying, it's a very formidable opponent. This could be a possible playoff matchup down the road. And I think it's very good for us in a way where we're going to know real quick, what we're made of. We're going to see real quick what our determination is. We're going to see, really how good is our conditioning, how strong really are we, and everything's going to be put to the test from, our game plan to our individual just nutrition, our daily habits. Everything's going to be put to the test. Because like I said, this is a heavyweight matchup. So, some people might be kind of timid, kind of looking at this like, man, we're coming out the gate against a really good team. But, and I do think I can speak for everyone else. We're genuinely very excited to play against a great opponent coming off the gate, because we'll know real quick kind of what we're made of.
In what ways did communication lack at times last year for you guys up front?
I would say just a lot of it last year is we really only played like 5 guys. So we really only played 5 guys, and I think up front for the starting 5 it wasn't too bad. But whenever we'd mix in some other guys, it would maybe lack a little bit, because just from game experience, we all played 800, 900 plus snaps, and when some of these other guys would come in, they might not necessarily know maybe those kind of nuances, those kind of unspoken things. I think for our communication, the biggest thing was just those kind of unspoken. Just kind of, I guess, experience, or just kind of experience from that aspect. But now, kind of those guys being able to kind of, go through all the practices last year. They understand what a game week is. They understand what a game situation is, and they understand the communication necessary to win games, big games.
Watching Georgia on film, what is it that makes them so tough to run against?
Man, they're just big old dudes, big old strong dudes. I mean, and their ends are. I think for them, it's really it's almost like a tag team. You know, they have really big, you know, physical guys in the middle, and on the edges they have very kind of quick, kind of sleeky, fast guys. Their edge players aren't necessarily like as big as their interior guys, but I think it's very complimentary for them, having kind of speed on the edge and power in the middle. Like I said, they're a very formidable opponent. It'll definitely be a challenge, but I mean, I think we're all here for it.
Well, how impressive is the depth that Georgia brings on the defensive front? Seems like they can roll 4 or 5 guys.
Oh yeah, no, 100%, and that's kind of their thing too. I mean, they have guys that they pretty much every 3 plays or so they're rolling guys in and out. You know, trying to keep guys fresh. And like I said, they're all very big, strong, capable men. So it'll be very interesting for us. I mean, obviously we run like a tempo offense, so we'll always be kind of pushing the pace a little bit. And yeah, no, it'll be interesting.
The D-line you guys face in practice every day is pretty formidable in itself.
Yes.
What's it like facing those guys? And have you seen anybody out of that group jump out to you that didn't step out last year?
I would say, I mean, obviously, Tyler Davis, Brian Brzee, those guys are phenomenal, some of the best in the country. And I think a lot of people would agree with me on that as well. I think some of the young interior guys like Troy Williams, Rook, Row, those guys definitely stepped up big time in my opinion. And that's even from not just last year, but from the spring until now where we're at. We already broke camp. I think those guys are definitely ready to play. And I mean, obviously they're going to play come Saturday, but they'd be able to play and start, anywhere else as well. And I'm really excited for them too. And I think being an offensive lineman, I'm very blessed and grateful being able to go against such guys every single day in practice, because it gives us confidence knowing that, hey, we're playing against some of the best interior defensive linemen in the country already. So it gives us confidence going into whoever we play that like we can do it because we face it in practice every day. And I think it's really good for our defense now that we have a lot of depth up front in the D line. And I mean, that's not just the interior D line, that goes for the defensive ends as well. But just being a guard, obviously I go against the interior guys a lot, so I really know them in their play. But I think like Rook and Trey Williams, those guys definitely stepped up big time, and I'm excited for them that they kind of answered the call.
I want to ask about the boxing setup a little bit more. Is it a heavy bag, speed bag?
Yeah, no. So we have a heavy bag. We have actually multiple things. So we have a heavy bag, and then we have like a teardrop kind of uppercut bag. We have a speed bag, and we have a little double end bag, and then we have like a little slip rope and kind of stuff like that. It was just something. So we were actually working, or I was working like kids camp. We get paid for that, and I was just kind of sitting down. One of my roommates, Blake Vinson, he used to do it as a kid, and he's actually really good. And I was just thinking like, hey, this is something that I'm interested in. I want to learn. It's something, like I was saying earlier, it's kind of, some people want to learn the piano. I just want to kind of learn the nuances of kind of boxing. I like watching it. I think it's interesting. I mean, obviously, I'm not a professional boxer by any means, but yeah. So we just kind of put a couple $100 together and just kind of built it in our little garage, and I use it a couple times a week. It's really fun. I mean, it's good. It's good cardio. It's good for kind of hand speed, and I just think mentally, it's good that you're kind of getting in some extra work. Maybe after practice or workouts, you're kind of doing a little bit extra, and I think that kind of helps kind of harden the mind a little bit.
How many minutes do you go?
Oh, I mean, it depends. So, like, some days, if we, like in the summer, if we had like a really heavy lift, I might not even really hit the heavy bag too much. It might just be kind of footwork, kind of head movement, stuff like that. Maybe hit the pads a little bit. But I mean, some days it'd be maybe hour and a half, just kind of going through it all. And we'd kind of just go on YouTube, kind of look up some stuff. I mean, just like I said, it's kind of like a hobby thing. So.
Which is your favorite Rocky movie?
I would say, I mean, it might be a little cliche, but the first one, in my opinion, just because I feel like it really embodies kind of who Rocky is as a person. It kind of shows the start to kind of like his come up, and I love those stories.
So someone who goes against Brzee every day, what makes him so hard to handle?
I would say the thing about Brzee is number one, like his get off. His get off. He's very, very twitchy. When Brian wants to go, he wants to go, and I think you would be tough to find another defensive lineman, interior guy who's 300 plus pounds who can get off the rock like he can. And obviously he's very strong and has good technique and all that stuff. But I'd say the one thing about him is he's very twitchy, and he can get off the rock like no one I've ever seen before.
Before we let Will
we'll go any questions from Zoom. We'll take one or two if anybody online has any questions. All right, no questions from Zoom. We'll let Will go. Thank you.
Thank you.